Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to the Cenobite. That's right, Hellraiser is the new DLC. Up and coming, we've had the last week and a half of teasers from Dead by Daylight of a new franchise killer. A lot of people thought it would be Five Nights at Freddy with some of the graphics they used and some of the hints that were put through. But no, it ended up being Hellraiser, our boy Mr. Pinhead, known as the Cenobite. So, this is going to be a paragraph. It is not an official chapter release, even though it'll be labeled as such in the Dead by Daylight, archive. It is much like Ghostface. We are only getting a killer in this release. We are not getting a survivor, nor a map for Pinhead, just the killer, and that is all. However, very, very unique and fun killer, very, very interesting, and as far as aesthetics go, as far as how their music is, their chase animations, like the theory, the gameplay around him, he's 10 out of 10. Whether he's good, we'll find out, but he's got a lot of interesting things. He's a very complex killer, so let's just dive into it. First off, let's go over his power, Summons of Pain. So this is a threefold thing. First and foremost is you use the power when you're chasing a survivor, and you will basically get this little blue light on your screen. That blue light will be a little marker. Once you release the power button, you will then become one of his chains, literally, and you will try to attack the survivor. It looks like a nurse teleport is what it looks like, and so you'll use the hook. If you attach yourself to the survivor, they will be slowed for a little bit, and they will be forced to remove the chain, which is just holding down the ability button. I believe that's R1 on PlayStation, mouse button 1 on computer. And so to remove the chain, but if you have a chain on you, you are hindered, you are severely slowed, and it's much like the Death Slinger chain, except for it's not pulling you in, but it is locking you to a location. So that's what you can use to hit them with. On top of that, as the game's going on, your player icon will start to have a chain to fill up. It's much like Freddy. In the dream world, your chain, once it is full, you will become chain hunted, meaning that random chains will start to fly out of the world and attack you and disrupt you, and they can stop you from healing, they can stop you from doing generators, etc. And the only way to remove that chain hunt is to use the other part of the Cenobite's power, which is the Lament configuration, which is his puzzle box. So the survivors will be alerted to the puzzle box via a pulsing image. Think like how you can see, the survivors through walls and things. The hook, you'll be able to see the puzzle box. It's a tiny little item that must be picked up. Once it is interacted with, it cannot be dropped, and you must solve the puzzle on it, which is just interacting and hitting skill checks. However, when you do interact with the box, the Cenobite is alerted to your location and can teleport directly next to you. You will be removed from the chain hunt, which is why you want to, interact with that puzzle box altogether. But you will alert the Cenobite to your location, and he will come after you more than not. On the other hand, if the survivors deal with the chain hunt and they don't find the puzzle box, or if the Cenobite finds the puzzle box before the survivors, then he will be able to solve his own puzzle, and all survivors that are alive, injured or healthy, will then be entered in the chain hunt. They will scream, and you will have 3 of them come after you immediately, and then you will continue to you remove those, and then the Cenobite will chase after you. The Cenobite cannot have the puzzle box revealed to them. They literally will have to look at the ground and look for a little piece of yellow to be able to find it and interact with it. So those are the 3 parts to the Cenobite. Hopefully the video gives you some more clarification, because speaking about it through just speech is very, very hard to describe how it works. But essentially you summon chains to slow the survivors to be able to walk up a mouse button, or to M1 them. And that's the kind of the way you play this killer. He's very, very good at, unsafe to mid-safe pallets, because he's able to interact and slow them. Think like the clown gas. And how it's able to, kind of 1v1 survivors in that way. Doesn't have a lot of map pressure, doesn't have a lot going on. So that's where his strength is going to be seen, because he's a very hard killer to play, and his payoff currently is lackluster in the sense of being able to grab people and slow them and get something from it, but it looks so dang cool. So it's one of those, kind of toss-ups to see how well he performs. So let's go over his perks. His first perk is Deadlock. Basically, after a generator is repaired, the entity will block the generator with the most progress for 30 seconds. This is a really valuable perk for gen rushing, which is a huge problem in the game, and it allows you to just slow the game down, especially when you're working with perks like Ruin, Pop Goes the Weasel, things that slow down that gen regression, to be able to isolate where you know, the worst generator is, and to be able to kind of help plan out your plan of attack and where you're going to, you know, manage the map based off of that, which is really, really neat. It tells you where some of the survivors are, at least one of them, multiple possibly. It also stops the classic where there's, you know, 4 gens, you know, you got 2 left and they pop 2 of them at the same time. You know, it can eliminate some of those burst or, you know, rush strategies that can hit killers. So potentially worth the perk slot, we're not sure, but it is a unique enough perk. Hex Plaything, very, very fun perk. So when you hook a survivor, they become cursed, and so basically a dual totem will become a cursed totem. And once it's cursed, the only person who knows that it's cursed is the survivor. And for 90 seconds, no one can touch that totem except for the cursed survivor. And the only way a cursed survivor can find it is if they get within 16 meters of it. It'll start to glow like a map, revealing totems, and they will have to cleanse it. If they don't, they suffer from the oblivious status. The oblivious status being that you have no heartbeat and no red terror light. So you won't be able to see any of those. The killer basically becomes, you know, tier 1 Michael Myers, except they're normal. So very, very interesting. This would be a lot of fun. A lot of fun on insta-down killers. So, you know, you got Billy, you got Leatherface, you know, potentially the Oni in his second phase. You know, granted, it's only for that one survivor, but it's enough to really snowball a game out of control. And because nobody can interact with it for 90 seconds, you know, you're slowing that survivor's period down, or they have to live with the fact that they can't hear the killer at all. So definitely a fun hex, especially because if you consider one of the values of bringing Haunted Grounds is because it helps to detract from, you know, your other hexes, right? Your other, you know, curse totems, hex totems, and so being able to insert an additional totem onto the map, you know, while distracting from the other ones could potentially have value in keeping, you know, things alive. And interesting to see how this would work with Undying, and kind of just get along that way of really just like tunneling on one survivor and just knocking them out of the game, which is a very, very valuable killer strategy to help slow the game down and to win the game. Lastly, there is a whole new mechanic being added to the game, which is the Scourge Hook. A totally new pillar of perks will be coming out. 4 random hooks are changed into Scourge Hooks, and their orbs will be in white. So if you played killers during any of the, you know, the festive events where they had different outlines, usually yellow to signify something special for you to get extra blood points, it's the exact same thing except they're white. They have no visual differences other than that, except to the killer will see a white kind of particle effect, where the survivors will not when interacting with the Scourge Hook. But essentially, this one, when you hook up a survivor, when they are rescued, they now have essentially Sloppy Butcher, Hemorrhage and Mangle status effect until fully healed. And the first time the survivor is healed, they suffer a penalty to healing repairing actions until injured again. So essentially, you can, you know, the reason this is better than Sloppy Butcher in a way is that, you know, it comes off of the hook, which is probably the most important time, right? Like hitting somebody, you know, if you're planning on injuring everybody, then this isn't as good for you. But being able to hook somebody and save that time for them to know that they're going to have to take a little bit longer to heal until after the hook, you know, kind of helps to put them in an awkward position where they're not going to be able to heal, and you can potentially get back to them and down them and rehook them. But also, I mean, a 9% penalty to healing and repairing actions is massive until they're injured again. So technically, you know, if you're playing a nice killer, so to speak, you know, you go after one survivor each, you know, hook all of them once before you go after another one again. You hook all 4 of them, that's a 9% penalty across all the board for repairing and healing, which is massive in slowing the game down alongside other perks. So but Scourge Hooks are now part of the perk system, which is not surprising because we know whether it's going to be in this next paragraph with the new survivor or a totally different chapter altogether, we do know that boon totems are going to become a thing, which is a survivor perk that can be brought to have, you know, good totems on the map that the killer is going to have to interact with. So interesting that we get the Scourge Hook and we're going to get boon totems as well. It just adds more dynamic levels to the game. So those are his 3 perks. Add-ons are as follows, just kind of fun. So his red ones, Engineer's Fang, Possessed Chains, which are what he uses. That's his summon whatever. When he summons of pain, he summons a possessed chain. They injure healthy survivors, but they don't bind them or spawn additional chains. So essentially, you no longer get to use your power, but your power can injure. So essentially, you injure them, and then you become a mouse button 1. You can't slow them down. You can't do anything after that. But instead of slowing them down and getting a mouse button 1, you know, you injure them after that, which is potentially really good or really, really bad. He moves the same as other killers. He is 4.6 meters per second, which is 115% speed. So it's the max you can go. 32 meters, you know, standard terror radius. And he's tall, so people will be able to see him. But being able to injure with your power, though it won't slow them down. You know, you can't put them into the dying state. You can just injure them. They'll go there. The iridescent lament configuration, when a chain hunt is inactive, meaning that they are not being hunted down, right? That chain hunt is the like the Freddy thing around their portrait. Beyond 16 meters of the lament configuration, they can't actually see its aura. So normally you can always see where the puzzle box is while you're looking as a survivor to be able to interact with it and prepare to get rid of the chain hunt. This makes it so that they can't until chain hunt is active, and at that point it's too late, and they're in big trouble. Chatterer's Tooth reveals the lament configuration, and picking up the lament configuration deactivates chain hunt, so it does the opposite, right? So now Pinhead will be able to find the box on the ground, but instead of activating the chain hunt on all survivors, it will deactivate it all, but you now become undetectable for 12 seconds. So potentially being able to do some invisible plays, right? Get some cheeky downs on survivors, or be able to play a kind of a optional stealth. Basically, you have a choice to become tier 1 Myers or, you know, Cloaked Wraith. Whenever you pick that up, so it could have some possibilities. Survivors hit by possessed chain, which is again your power, revealed for 6 seconds. When a survivor uses the environment to break a chain, an additional chain will target them. So again, it's very much like the Deathbringer, right? You can break chains when you're doing action speeds and use the environment to help break them. Now they're just going to get hit by another chain. Injured survivors who break free from a possessed chain suffer from deep wound. This is incredibly powerful. I mean, you injure a survivor, now you're putting them in a deep wound state. You're just making them waste more time, just causing more issues for them. Pressure on the map. Frank's Heart increases the maximum casting range of the gateway. So again, it's the blue light. It's like the nurse. When you move it away from Pinhead while you're moving, you'll spawn the hook from there, and so it just gives you more outplay potential in case the survivors are running far from you. Possessed Chain's travel distances increase with Larry's blood. Larry's remains increases the time it takes for survivors to solve the puzzle box. Slice of Frank. Survivors carrying the limit configuration suffer from exhausted status effects, so no exhaustion perks, which is really, really unique and can potentially help to eliminate sprint bursts, dead hearts, etc. Torture Pillar increases the speed at which chain hunts activate, so this just means that survivors are going to be put in a scenario where they have to interact with the puzzle box sooner. Flickering Television, just again, maximum cast range of the gateway. Increased time for the puzzle box with Liquefied Gore, Screwed Rat. Decreases Summons of Pain, which is when you summon the Possessed Chain's cooldown. Increases Possessed Chain's maximum travel distance, just like the Green Virgin, just less. This one increases the turn rate of Possessed Chain. It's the only one we've seen so far that can do that, as well as this one. Yeah, the Lively Crickets also increases the turn rate, so while you're moving about. Burning Candle model increases the speed at which chain hunts activate, right? So the sooner that happens on them, decreases the cooldown. And then Bent Nail is the meme, the perk that does not help you, it hurts you. When hitting a survivor with a possessed chain, only one additional chain will spawn rather than multiple. If you can get 3 or 4 on a survivor, it's a guaranteed hit because they are slowed like 80% or something like that. I don't know. There's math on it. I don't know what it is. But then, so you won't be using this perk unless you're wanting to have a good time for yourself and mess about and try to make it harder. And then his Mori, which hopefully I'll be able to show here on the screen, is insane. It is probably my favorite Mori in the game by a good mile. It is by far the cruelest and most appropriate Mori that's in the game, and in my opinion it is just so dang cool. But anyway, there's the Cenobite. Hopefully I can get some game footage for you guys to be able to kind of watch and piece those together alongside the perks, and we'll go from there. But peace. Alright, 20-minute queue, but we're finally in. We're playing the Cenobite on Bata map. We love that map. That's really, really difficult for killers in general. Alright, first and foremost, creating a gateway. And we've summoned the chain. We have hit our first target. She's pulling away. We didn't really gain any distance, but we hit her again. And that's when life gets good. We smackety smacker. Oh, I'm coming for you, girly. Looks like she has some live there. She got some distance.
The box. You opened it.
And now we come to find our friend. Oh, I missed. That's not good. Oh, look at that yellow glyph. It's PTB, I don't care. Smack him. You can't close it in front of the survivor, it seems. Got him. Pick him up. Look at that. You pick him up with the chains. We're just like, hey, girl. Something up in the top left is flicking around. We're not really sure what it is. Could be his pants. Got keys. Oh, that's cute. So you see there's deadlock working. So that's the most, that was the generator with the closest one to being done. We know survivor is somewhere in this vicinity. There he is. I'm not sure what the criteria for this is. That's what's kind of hard to figure out at the moment. Getting these hooks to summon. Gotcha! Like some serious mouse button one kill. Deadlock probably saved this one from being done though, which is a pretty cool perk.
Yeah.
And, oh, it also makes it so that it's actually regressing, which is kind of nice. Oh, wait, no, I have ruin. I'm an idiot. Do I need to, like, not hit left button? Oh, it's because I'm hitting left click. Okay, so you just have to let go of the second action button. You don't actually click, because clicking means that it's like a melee. Okay. I'm so on board with it. Oh, I missed her. That would have been fun.
The box. You opened it. I came.
Didn't quite make it. Gotcha! But apparently terrain's really good at breaking chains, so... Apparently he's stuck on a chain. I've heard there's a bug where you can't get rid of it. Yeah, see, and they look like they're walking around. It kind of sucks for him. It's really funny to watch him just walking around though. Look at him. He's like, hey, how you doing? But yeah, there's been some bugs with like going through terrain. See that chain's just stuck to him. I think it's going to be that way the entire game. Survivor game that I played had that happen too. Will be nice to play.
You opened the box, and I came.
We got some decent distance from that, okay. We have no music for some reason. Oh, I hit the stupid mouse button again. It's a fake out. Did I try to get her caught in animation? Yeah, so there's some use there. Euphoric suffering up at the top. So that's him breaking the whatever oblivion thing. Which this didn't give me an indicator that he even had us. We just gotta assume that there's totems up, I guess. She's funny. Oh, but Ruin's gone, so that was definitely the one. So that's a Hex Ruin. That's like one of his Oblivion ones. You can like hear the chain bug around him. It's kind of weird. It looks like he was moving really slow. So that I know you can see the blue thing. I wonder if you can fake out there. So yeah, like I said, really good in small loops. Oh, I missed. I'm bad. Let's see, she's got the bug now too. I wonder where she is. Let's see how fast I'm catching up to her. This is funny to watch. Sucky for her. Like, I mean, I know that's... She's a zombie. Now you can see that there on the left side, there you see these chains are popping off because we saw what's her bucket here. So now they're being chain hunted. So he has the cube.
The box. You opened it. I came.
So he's able to take the chain hunt off, right? Because, like, when you have the box, it freezes you if I teleport to it, or if he just completes it. It gets rid of the chain hunt, both of them, so you see they're back to having no chains around their necks or whatever. Which is fine. You see that now as a Hex Totem, so that's his Hex Totem for the Oblivious. Her animation's still funky. This is hilarious to watch. I don't know if I gained any ground on her on that one. Moving up in the world. Don't do it, man. Yeah, see, this works really good in short loops. Also when they're bugged. It's kind of fun that way. Makes them look like zombies. Hilarious. You can see what chain it is. Look at it, it's just stuck in the terrain. It's cute. Love that. Look at him. He's just staring. It's the corpse. There's a lot of sex totem, I think. So now the chains of hate. Oh, love that. Where did I go? Up and over? Nope. We tried though.
Box. You opened it.
Hello.
Yeah.
Scoop, scoop, beat him up. Gotta teleport to the tap. But don't, you're the first dead. No. So used to barbecue and chili. They're gonna be sitting right here. Alright, watch this. Ready? Oh yeah, what's up? Through the hole. We're giving him all the jump scares. It's unfortunate. Interesting sound cue. Hello, friends. Oh, quick and quiet as well. Do 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 do. Hello. Friends, I get to do it. You ready? Watch this. And now they have loads of chains on them. That's dead hard. Should de-seed. Gotta find him so we can get the Mori. Oh, yes, thank you. Hello, friend. Let's put you out in the middle of the street so we can see this. Oh, it's so good, guys. You don't even know. It's so good. It's so good. Look at his face! Bye-bye. Later, friend. Ah, it's so good. It's so good. Anyway, there's the Cenobite, guys. Like I said, I think he's better than ever, but he's got. I mean, once people get used to playing against him, he's gonna be pretty easy to mess with. I think he just needs a little bit of help with his chains. Like if he lands a chain, like I mean, he's using his power, he's stopping. Just needs to be able to gain a little bit more distance. But other than that, I think he's really, really good. He's really balanced. So it's gonna be a lot of fun. We got to see some of those perks in action. Really great day. So anyway, that was so fun. I love this killer. He looks so good. He may not be my favorite to play, like as far as like winning, but man, he's fun to play. So anyway, peace be the journey. We'll talk to you guys soon.